around. Well, good evening. Thank you for coming. This is a terrible problem for a producer of a play to have an overfull house and turning people away. Welcome to Thespiana 2018. It's our third offering of Thespiana here at Cottonwood. I'm Chuck Cabell, the producer, and Thespiana started off 2 years ago as a vehicle for me to get my own plays produced. It's working out very nicely. 4 so far on the night. Along the way, I came to discover this incredible array of talent here in Colorado Springs. Other playwrights, directors, actors, and man, it's really growing scenes. And much of the pleasure for me in Thespiana is getting associated with and learn from this incredible array of people. You're in for a treat tonight. You people are seriously good. I'd like to make a few acknowledgments here. Cottonwood is, again, it's our third session here at Cottonwood, and we've been treated very well by John Corey, Chelsea Jennings, his main assistant in charge of the Thespiana project. Also like to acknowledge folks that you're mostly behind closed doors or wandering around, our tech folks, particularly our stage director, Jesse Hampton. Jesse, you're around somewhere? And our sound guy is J.D. Morgan in the back booth there, so give him a little applause. And this whole event is going to be projected on YouTube, and the fellow recording it for us is a fellow named Chris Lewis, and he's in the back. Chris. Our master of ceremonies and narrator for this evening is Warren Epstein, stars. That's the most unusual war of approval. He's a star of stage, screen, radio, and print. He's also a stand-up comedian. And tonight you're going to see and hear most of those talents presented at one time, as he has a one-man show here called Borscht Belted. And you're going to love it. So enjoy the show, and we'll have Warren will announce the intermission.
You guys know there's lots of other shows going on. I mean, there's you're in the right place. This is good. Thanks for coming. You know, this is exciting, and this is part of, I think, a new wave of what's going on in Colorado Springs and elsewhere, that we're seeing a lot more original works being written and performed, and what Chuck has created, and by the way, Chuck has this long, illustrious career as this brigadier general, right, at the Air Force. But what a lot of people don't know is not only is he an amazing playwright, but was on the Ed Sullivan Show singing with the Glee Club. Can we hear it? Stuff they just drops like it's nothing. Ed Sullivan. I didn't know better. I'd say you were one of the kids. You know, so I appreciate that you know that what you're going to experience is essentially the works in progress. We have staged readings, so these are going to be, they've been vetted, and some of the best actors in town are going to stage them. They've been directed. And there are also companies in town that are doing workshopping, like Drama Lab. We have those that are doing completely staged readings, like Craft. And I look at you guys as part of that process. You know, because you can write all this stuff in your basement until you get people giving you the feedback, reacting to it. It doesn't have the life that it has. And so I really want to thank you all for coming. And I'm just, you know, a full house. I'm still. So thank you for coming. My wife came. She was just asking if there's wine. And like, really? You need a wine? The whole thing? Okay, here's a Jewish wine. When are you going to take me to Miami? you, Jane. Get on. See, when your own actors start heckling you, you know you're in trouble. So, for our first play, which is written by Chuck Cabell, directed by Sue Bachman, we have Story Time. Scene 1. A typical children's bedroom with twin beds. It's bedtime on Saturday night. A twin boy and girl in pajamas are sprawled out on their beds. There's a knock at the door.
Hey, are you decent?
We're decent. Come on in.
You guys aren't going to give me a hard time about going to bed now, are you? We've been at this since I picked you up from school. Horsey, lawn darts, Nerf ball, video games. I'm worn out. You got to be tired after picking out at McDonald's. I told your mom I'd take you out to, or make dinner for you, but the fridge was pretty empty.
We want a story, Uncle Brad. You promised to read us a story. And don't read it all stupid like last time.
Me? What do you mean all stupid?
Like you did with Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, you said she was really a biker babe riding on Harley. And she had a bunch of tattoos, and so did her grandma, that they smoked weed all the time. And that the wolf was a
Transvestite.
Yeah, transvestite. That's why he was wearing grandma's nightgown and...
Jeez! I was just trying to jazz up the story a little. You didn't like it?
It was weird. And so are you, Uncle Brad. The old way was better.
Well, here I go through all the trouble of taking a moldy old story and putting a new spin on it, and that's the thanks I get? Well, what about nursery rhymes then?
Nursery rhymes are for babies. We're 5.5. Besides, you do the same thing to nursery rhymes.
Now, how do I do that?
You change them all around. Remember how we did hey diddle diddle? Instead of hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. You said hey diddle diddle, the cat made a piddle, the cow pooped all over the moon. You knew it didn't sound right, so we had that mom tell it the right way.
You didn't think that was funny?
Well, Cal did. How come you have to change it?
I can't help it. Hearing all those rhymes from when I was a kid, I couldn't resist. Hey, how about we solve the mystery of the lost sheep?
You mean Bo Peep? I don't think there's a mystery at all. She lost them. That's how the story goes anyway. Yeah, and if you leave them alone, they'll come home, like they did all the other times.
Yeah, but are you sure? Maybe they were stolen this time. Maybe Bo Peep isn't the only one who lost some sheep. What about Mary's little lamb? Mary had a little lamb. Where is it now? Maybe it was stolen too. And what about black sheep? Maybe it was one of Bo Peep's and somebody dyed it black. Maybe there's a whole gang of sheep thieves out there.
Oh, you're just making that up.
Oh yeah, Mr. Smarty Pants? How do you just lose a big fluffy sheep? And we don't know how many sheep she had to start with. It just says, doesn't know where to find them. Them, so we know it's more than one.
I know, maybe a wolf got them.
That's right. Remember the story of the boy who cried wolf? Maybe that wolf got them.
Why does it have to be that wolf? There are lots of wolves. What about Red Riding Hood's wolf? Maybe it wasn't a wolf at all. Maybe they just wandered into Little Boy Blue's meadow, and he didn't notice them. He wasn't watching, right? He was under a haystack, fast asleep. Uncle Brad, are there really black sheep? I've never seen one.
Sure there are. Google it sometime. There's black sheep, all shades of brown sheep, sheep with black heads, black legs, spotted sheep, sheep that are fluffy and...
Well, how come we never see them?
Probably because it's easier to turn white wool into black than it is to keep a lot of black sheep around.
I have a black sweater. Maybe that came from a black sheep.
Maybe. There were 3 bags full of black wool in the nursery rhyme. But maybe he stole the wool from Peep Sheep and dyed it black so no one would suspect.
We could ask Miss Muffet. Maybe she saw something before the spider scared her Silly dumb cow. What made you think of her? Well, she was just sitting there eating curds and whey. Mommy told us that curds and whey are made from milk. Sheep make milk too, don't they, Uncle Brad?
Yes, they do, Cal. That's very smart.
And she was sitting on a tuffet. That's just a mound of grass or something. So that shows she was outside.
This is great. I believe we're making real progress on our mystery here. We have some clues and we're drawing up a list of witnesses and suspects.
Where is Mommy, Uncle Brad? Is she really coming home?
Of course she's coming home, Clover. What made you say that?
She's hardly ever home anymore. And when she is home, she's always sad.
Well, sure she is. We're all sad that your daddy didn't come back from Afghanistan.
Yes, but she's really sad. Sadder than us. We can hardly remember him.
Well, that's because you were only 4 when he left. Your mommy loved your daddy very much, and she's very lonely without him. Did you know, your daddy was my best friend since kindergarten, so I really miss him too. Does your mommy cry a lot?
Uh-huh. But then she takes something that helps her stop. And then she acts all weird.
What do you mean, weird? What does she take?
Some kind of pills. I don't know what kind, but she takes a lot. And she walks around with a glass in her hand all the time. I tasted it once. It was awful. I can't understand what she says half the time. She forgets stuff. Sometimes she forgets to buy food. Sometimes all we have is food out of a can. One time we didn't have one for 3 days.
Well, your mommy has been through a lot. Did you know that when your mommy and me were only a little older than you guys, our daddy was killed? That was because of war too. The war in Kosovo. Our daddy was learning how to fly a helicopter over at Fort Carson when it crashed.
We've been to Fort Carson. Kosovo. Where's that? Mommy showed Afghanistan on a map. Is it near there? Mommy came home last week. She was all cow. We're not supposed to tell anybody.
It's okay. We're all family. You can tell me. Even if your mommy gets mad, this is something I really need to know about.
A policeman brought her home and
A policeman? What happened?
he said she shouldn't be driving in her condition. Whatever that means. She could hardly stand up and she smelled bad. The policeman took our babysitter, Missy, home. I don't know where Mom's car is. After we left, Mommy got sick and threw up all over the kitchen floor. Me and Clover and me, we tried to drag her to her bed, but she was too heavy. So we just got her a pillow and blanket and left her there. But she wasn't there in the morning. She slept real late and didn't go to work. We didn't go to school either. She told our teacher that she had the flu. Mommy's good at making up stories like that.
She told me she had a dentist appointment and then a dinner. And that's why I needed to pick you up from school.
She didn't go to the dentist. She just likes to tell people that.
Does Nana know about this?
No, Mommy made us promise. I can't tell Nana. I'm supposed to tell you.
All right. Listen, it's like this. When you two have a problem, your mommy needs to know, right? When mommy has a problem, her mommy needs to know. That's Nana. Now, don't worry. If mommy gets mad that Nana knows, you just tell her that this was my fault.
But Uncle Brad.
No more talk now. Time for bed, okay? I'm gonna wait up for your mommy.
What about the last sheep, Uncle Brad?
Shh. We'll talk about the sheep some more next time. Good night now.
Scene 2. The living room of the twins' house, an hour later. Brad is sitting in a stuffed chair looking frazzled. A box filled with liquor bottles, pill bottles, and beer cans is at his feet, along with cleaning supplies. Enter Nana.
I came as soon as I could. I wasn't even dressed. Are the kids okay?
Kids are safe. It's about Bethany. She's in trouble, Mom. Real trouble. Look at all this. And this is just what I found lying around. There's probably more stashed. The kids are scared. They weren't supposed to tell anybody, especially you, but it all just came out.
How? When you picked them up from school?
No, it was later on. It was odd. They didn't seem at all surprised that I picked them up either. Apparently Beth has been going off in the afternoons to God knows where, and people have been covering for her. When I got here, the place was a wreck and there's no food in the house. The kids know something's up, Mom, just like we did.
What are you talking about?
After Dad died, we knew you were struggling too.
I was not. I had to stay strong for you and Beth, so I did.
We know how hard you tried, Mom.
You never once saw me cry, did you? Not even at Dad's funeral. I smiled and was pleasant, took care of everybody. They were all amazed at how well I held it together.
Yes, you were amazing, but this is different. We're talking about Beth here.
How did this all come up?
Well, the kids wanted a bedtime story. I was telling them a nursery rhyme.
A nursery rhyme for 6-year-olds?
They're 5 and a half, actually. I had to think fast, so I suggested we solve the mystery of what happened to Bo Peep's lost sheep, and then...
You always did have a knack for twisting stories way out of shape. I thought maybe you'd outgrown that.
Hey, it's one of the most endearing talents. Anyway, we were starting to have a high old time when Clover asked out of the blue if her mommy was really coming home.
I don't see the connection.
There must have been something weighing on her mind. Maybe she was feeling a little lost. I don't know what to say. I know Bethy and I did when Dad died.
You never said anything.
We tried to put on the same brave face like you did. But at night, we cried ourselves to sleep. You did too. We heard you.
Everyone told me I had to stay strong for you two. That we'd get over it faster that way. What did you mean you knew I was struggling too?
We knew about Evelyn, Mom.
What about Evelyn? She was my friend. I'm not sure I could have survived without Evelyn.
We knew she was your AA sponsor, Mom. We heard you on the phone. We knew about your drinking problem. Now Beth is going through the same thing. Maybe Bethy's kids haven't quite put it together yet, but they will.
In my heart of hearts, I knew something was going on with Beth, but I didn't want to face it. I wanted so badly to believe her little excuses to pretend she was okay. Was I really that bad a mother?
You were a horrible mother and you have stinky feet. Yeah? Remember when we went to Newport last summer and you walked barefoot on the beach? The tide went out 2 hours early that day.
Oh, you. How can you make jokes at a time like this?
Look, you did what you thought was best. We loved you then, and we love you now. We all miss what we were going through, and we all miss what was going on with Bethy. So let's just focus on what we can do to help her and the kids.
So what should we do?
There's no simple answer, Mom. We're all feeling a little like lost sheep right now. So there's a lot to deal with. Well, there's the kids, of course. They need to understand that they'll be loved and taken care of, no matter what. And if Bethy won't tell them the truth, I will.
Are you sure? What if Beth hates you for it?
Then so be it. I'll just have to remind her of how we felt when Dad died and how you told us so many lies trying to shield us from the truth. And that we had a hard time ever believing you.
I didn't realize.
No one did. Then there's Beth, losing her daddy and her husband in pretty much the same way. I can't imagine how it must be for her. We can't just tell her to suck it up. She needs real help.
Well, I'm more than willing.
I know, Mom. Me too. We toughed it out on our own last time, but now I'm not so sure that was the best idea. Maybe it's time to get professional help.
Now, I don't know about that.
Me neither, but we don't have to decide all that tonight. The important thing is that we love each other and we're going to get through this together, whatever it takes.
Maybe you're right. Maybe we do need some outside help for Beth.
And not just for Beth. I could use some help myself.
You? Don't be silly. You're a pillar of strength.
Am I, Mom? Trapped in a job I don't like because I'm too afraid to try anything else? And then there's Lori and I mean, we were together for 2 years. I let her go. I want her back. But I've been too afraid of making a romantic commitment. I'm lost, Mom. I don't like that.
And that's my fault?
It's no one's fault. It just is. And look at yourself, Mom. You've been like a little lost sheep ever since Dad died.
I miss him so much.
I know. Me too.
You know what? I probably should go. By the time she gets home, she probably won't be in any shape for a serious talk with the two of us. Besides, I don't want Beth to think we've been lying in wait for her.
You're right, Mom. I'll put the kids to bed, and I'll put her to bed as well. Crash here on the couch and take the kids to school in the morning. When Bethy wakes up, I'll be here with some hot coffee, and we'll have that conversation we should have had a long time ago. I'll call you after.
You're a good brother, Brad, and I love you. Call me if you want to after you put Becky to bed. In the meantime, though,
Yes.
all this talk about lost sheep can wait until tomorrow. Right now, it's time for me to get the flock out of here.
So that was, one of the things you should know is that these actors that we're working with today are some of the best in town. And, for instance, those child actors actually not, they're 45 years old each. We never know it, the commitment that they bring to those roles. Our next play is written and directed by Jeff Schmoyer. And I don't know if anybody's seen any of these shows, The Voice, the talent shows, America's Got Talent, Black Plus. How many people watch those shows? Jane and I are fans of the shows, and this scene, he must have been bugging our house, because this is exactly what happens every season that we watch this damn show. Anyway, and now I present, and the winner is...
This is it, our big live season finale. We're about to announce the winner from our 2 remaining finals. Who will it be? Slow-witted Topher or Tish with the somehow always perfect hair? We're about to find out after this quick break.
Bad breath?
No thanks, I already have bad gas.
Did you take something for it?
Yes, I have the cabbage.
No. I mean, did you take something to get rid of it?
I don't need to. It does that all by itself.
Let me start over.
Please don't. You have terrible breath.
Then I'll take you, Breathos.
Welcome back. There are only 2 competitors left standing, and one of them will be the winner of our 3rd season. Your votes have all been cast and tabulated along with the votes of all the losers, which for some reason count more than yours. Let's go to Josh for an overly complicated explanation of the rules and the formula that has been used to decide the winner.
Oh, good grief. Why can't they just tell us who won?
You should record it and we'll watch something else now. Then you can skip through it later to see who won.
I can't do that. Some twit will tweet a spoiler long before I get to see it. I need to watch it live so I can be the first to know, and then tweet it for everybody else to see.
Can't you just turn off your phone for now?
Never.
Thank you, Josh. That wasn't too difficult to understand, now was it? For more different details, be sure to check out our website, blog, Twitter feed, Pinterest, Instagram, and as always, like us on Facebook and follow us on Friendsters. We'll be right back.
Does your dog have bad breath?
No, but he has terrible gas.
Are you sure it's the dog?
What are you implying? Of course I'm sure it's the dog.
This is ridiculous.
You should take a break and go get a snack during the commercial.
I can't leave now. He said he's going to announce the winner.
Have you been saying that for the last hour?
I have invested a lot of time in this show. I've watched every single episode and every single interview and that talking thing they do after the show. I'm not about to miss the ending.
Suit yourself. I'm going to the kitchen for some ice cream.
Oh, look, it's back. You sure you don't want to stay?
I'm sure I will have plenty of time before anything happens.
We're just about to find out who the winner of the brand new, well, let's let Josh tell you about the prizes.
Did you say something, honey?
Oh, no. That was just the sound of my soul escaping from my body. I'll be fine without it.
And Josh sure does a fine job, doesn't he? Too bad he's just an unpaid intern. And now, the winner. Who's it going to be? Have you texted us who you think it will be? Regular rates apply. But now, it's finally time.
Finally!
It's finally time to take a look at back, see how we got here.
No! I know how we got here. I've watched every single episode, every intimate detail. I don't need to rehash it for some jerk viewer who just tunes in for the final episode and didn't put in time like I did. Please, tell me who won.
What did I miss?
Just me slashing my wrists, then hanging myself. Nothing really.
So who won?
Whoa! That was certainly some season. I don't remember half of that happening. And Bob being eaten by that shark. Did we edit that out? I think I'm running out of things to say, so you know what that means. Time for a commercial.
Hi, Mom. I'm home from school. Is there anything to eat?
Of course, there are carrots in the fridge.
No, I want something to eat. Is there something in the freezer I can put in the toaster or microwave?
Kids today, always wanting their electricity. Now there's a better way to heat your food. Introducing new Fire in a Box. Always on, always hot. Here, try this.
What is it?
It's new Fire in a Box. You just put your frozen snack in here like this, and in just a minute, it's done.
How does it work?
I don't know. I'm just a housewife. The label said something about depleted uranium, but I don't know what that
Is it safe?
is. I'm sure it must be. See how thick the cardboard is? And look, your snack is ready. Wasn't that fast?
Thanks, Mom.
Fire in a Box. Get it today at your local Walmart.
This is it. It's time. Topher and Tish, are you ready? The whole world is on the edge of their seat, watching, hoping, holding their breath for this moment. And the winner is coming up right after this.
Ladies, are we alone? I need to talk to you about something in private.
No, she's not alone. Now get back to my show.
Maybe we could change the channel for a minute.
Oh, I'm sure she'll be quick.
Ladies, do you need to lose a couple of 100 pounds? Hi, I'm divorce attorney Denise Jackson, and I know that man ain't right for you. Let me help you kick him to the curb. Everything you deserve and so much more.
Honey, that reminds me. There's something I've been wanting to talk to you about.
Ronald, while I'm waiting for the most important moment of my life,
The most important moment of your life. Really?
oh no, baby, I mean after our wedding.
And the kids?
Our kids? You do know our kids. Can't you just wait until after the show is over? I promise we can talk about whatever you want. You know, want then, sweetie.
Well, I suppose it's waited this long.
Ladies, call today. Really, you can do better.
Hi, I'm Noel Baxter, your grandparents, remember. Now all I can get is the occasional commercial work. Anyway, I want to talk to you about something called a perverse mortgage. That is, if you're old. Preferably so old you can't read the fine print. Bottom line, I want to buy your house. And don't worry, somehow you'll still own it too. Because I don't want to pay for your taxes, your insurance, or that new roof you need. Those things will still be your problem.
Darn it, I really need to go to the bathroom.
So go.
As soon as I get up, they'll announce the winner and I'll miss it. I can wait a little bit longer.
Try new sausage. It's sausage made from ostrich.
Is it delicious?
Not exactly. It's sausage made from ostrich.
Then it must be healthy.
Well, it is sausage.
Okay, I can't wait any longer.
Don't worry. I'll watch and call you when the show comes back on.
Oh, you do that for me.
Of course I would, dear. Just take your time.
Thanks.
Fine. Now, for my show.
You called and said my clone is ready? This is so exciting. It's been a really long wait.
Oh, good. I didn't miss a thing.
Yes, it has been 9 months. Camille will be right in.
Well, I really can't wait any longer. The house is a mess, and dirty laundry is piled up to the ceiling.
What do you mean?
Well, just that I'm ready for my clone to get home and get started,
On the housework?
among other things.
That won't be possible for any number of reasons.
But you said he was ready to pick up.
He is. But for one thing, as stated in bold print in the contract, your clone is not your slave.
Contract?
Yes, we sent you home with a large pile of documents to read so that you would be prepared when your clone arrived. Did you not read any of it?
I was going to have my clown read it.
Again, that won't be possible.
And there are also several books I want him to read, or I can seem well-read and intelligent at parties. We will have the same knowledge, won't we?
If you teach him what you know, you should really go home and read the paperwork before we go any further.
Oh no, I'm sure it will be fine.
Ah, here's your clone now.
My clone? He looks nothing like me. And besides, he's a she.
Camille is not your clone. She was your surrogate. She's holding your clone.
She's holding a baby. My clone is a baby?
Of course your clone is a baby. That's how it works.
No, it doesn't. I've seen many a film and the clones always come up young and beautiful. Not as babies. I want another one. Another me. Though maybe a touch younger. Perhaps mid-20s? That will never do. You will have to fix it.
Fix it? There's nothing to fix. You should really have read the literature we gave you. Now sign here and you can take your clone home.
I can't take care of a baby. You, Camille, is it? You take him. And call me when he's, let's say, 25.
I can't take him. I already have the next clone in the oven.
That's much better. Is it back on yet? What are you watching? Where's my show?
Oh, busted.
Give me that remote.
I'll find it. I'm sure you didn't miss anything.
Hair loss.
Erectile dysfunction.
May cause diarrhea.
Look, here it is.
Unbelievable. This has never happened before. I'm sure none of you saw that coming. Well, we're completely out of time. We'll see you next season. That's shocking. Just shocking.
Well, the problem with that play is that should that win a Tony Award, it would announce, and the winner is, and the winner is. This doesn't work, Jeff. You need to get it. Okay, our next piece is an excerpt from a musical. How many people were at last year's Thespiana by applause? How many loved the musical interlude that the Arnests did last year? Well, they stacked the deck by getting the best singers in town, and they have way too much talent for one couple. Basically, I totally resent them. Anyway, no, this is really amazing. So the one last year was this parody melodrama, and this one's a more serious musical. but both of them dealing with the gold rush because they seem to be obsessed with that. Have you done mining?
I've never actually seen gold.
And you never. So you'll, just to spread the wealth, so to speak, we're going to have the first a couple of songs in this part, and then in the next part of our Thespiana festival, we'll have the other songs. Okay, I will set the scene. Iron and Gold tells the story of two men who clashed in an event that convulsed the nation in 1886, known to history as the Great Southwest Strike. One man named Jay Gould, whose name still resonates among the greatest of the so-called robber barons of the last Gilded Age. The other man was Martin Irons, a labor leader whose star flashed briefly across the stage of history, then was nearly totally extinguished in the wreckage of a failed strike and a concerted campaign to discredit and vilify him that continues to this day. With few exceptions and embellishments, the events in our tale are based on fact. They didn't actually sing, I think, but other than that, true. The first act, from which all but the last song come from, is set in New York in 1869. Gould and Irons are young men unknown to each other. Irons is falling in love. Gould is scheming with his friend Jim Fisk to corner the gold market. The second act takes place in 1886. The western districts of the Knights of Columbus, or Knights of Labor, under the leadership of Martin Irons, strike the Gould system of railroads in Missouri and Texas. Let's have a second up here. Our first song is Bad Girls. Two New York ladies provide a glimpse of how women must sometimes make their way in the world of the mid-19th century big city.
With
1 second pause. Jay Gould learns that his attempt to bribe President Grant to keep the government gold off the market while Gould corners it has failed. In a split second, he must decide whether to tell his accomplice, Jubilee Jim Fisk, of this development and whether to abort the scheme.
Whatever shall I do? Whatever can be done? Are all my pretty plans, my perfect plans, to be unspun? I'm staging up in ice, I'm dancing on the wire, so high above the street, without a net, the rope on fire. I told my men to hide. I'm way out on the limb. Give up, shall I? Should I tell Jim? But this is nothing new. It shouldn't be a shock. I've played the game before. I've been around the block. The bigger is the lie, the more that you look tough, the less the suckers dare to call the law or call your bluff. My stake is undisclosed. I could pull out in time. I know my foes would call it crime. Do I care? Do I dare? Shall I risk it? How odd that in times of trouble and danger, a long vanished face will come to my mind. And though I will never see you again in this life, I'll fight, sister, for you. I hear at my heel the tread of a stranger, but I'm running free and out in the clear. If I keep the pace and throw something shiny behind, I know I'll win. I'll win the race. So let the fun begin. So bring on all the bears, and let us give a poke to dragons deep within their lairs. The gnashing of the teeth, the snapping of the jaws, and let us not forget the gentle grip of tender claws. I'll sweep them all away. I'll strike them dumb and blind. All those fools will pay, and I'll get mine. They won't know what hit them. Jay Gould wins again. Ha!
And our third selection from the musical, and we'll return to the musical for a couple more numbers on the second act, but this third one is called Love Duet. Martin Irons courts the plain and unsuspecting Mary Brown at the tenement house where she shares a room with the beautiful May.
Mary, I know that I'm ready out of life here before. happened to me. I've been a rover who had to be free, but something is different, something has changed, something so new and surprising. Oh, Mary, don't you see what I want to say to me?
What does he want with me? Oh, what can this mean? Not what it seems to be. Oh, no. I am the ugly one. He wants the other one, the way they always do. Hiding in the social shadows. Long ago I learned my place. Suitors came for all the other girls, the ones who had a pretty. I must be dreaming. There'll be no deliverance for me, no smile from the handsome prince for me.
Mary, I've come every day for a week. It's surely no secret, it's you that I seek.
All the years I built my courage, learning to be on my own.
Pardon me, Mary, I see I should go. My words are unwelcome, I leave you alone.
Martin, this is so sudden. I thought you'd come for Maeve. How could I not desire you? You're honest, you're kind, you're brave. But I have some dreams that I can't leave to chance.
As I do.
Dreams are more faithful to me than romance.
For me too.
What do you see in me? I'm surely not the one for you.
Remember the day outside the courthouse. There was play between us boys and you girls, and then some dancing and a bit of sparking, and then you began to speak. It is quite true, I had never noticed you, but then there, the stone lions by the door. I swear right then I heard those lions roar. Felt my heart soar. And time and circumstance fell away, and then I saw you. Mary, I saw you. And ever since I've been wanting to ask you to be.
What is this quivering, unusual shivering I feel?
Mary, I'm asking, would you become my wife?
Martin, I'm so confused. You're not in the plans I used to have.
Not in the plan. If your life now forget the plan. You are the unexpected turn that like a whispered word in empty halls, a word in the desert, a silence in the sun, the state of grace when all one's hope is gone.
You are the unexpected turn that calls like a sudden wind beyond the walls. A fire on the ocean, the shocking red of dawn, the strength that comes when all that can goes wrong. Unknown, never detected,
Silent,
love came like seen and unsuspected,
and so late,
went and changed the score. Our fond
unexpected turn that calls like a whispered word in empty halls, a path in the forest,
to the place where no one knows.
it's there you find the rare enchanting rose.
You are the
So I want to share some great news I just got. I'm going to be producing a one-man show, my first, at the MAT, the Millville Art Theater, next January. And what you're going to hear tonight is a rough work-in-progress excerpt of that, which, so don't give me a laugh. If I didn't earn it, just be tough. And I'll be taking notes. What works with that? So, I want to start by teaching you a joke. It's a joke from a dear friend of mine named Jimmy Greco. I'm going to teach it to you, not just tell it to you, because I want it to stick. I want it to get shoved into the crevices and shells of your memory between a beloved book and that dog that bit you when you were 7. Okay, here goes. They made one of those pull-string dolls. You know what those are, right? They made one of those pull-string dolls out of my mother. Every time they pull the string, it says, "Again with the string?" Okay, I'm going to give you the setup, you give me the punchline. They made a pull-string doll out of my mother. Every time they pull the string, it says, "Again with the string." Very good, thank you. I hear my mother's voice. I teach that joke, we'll come back to it later on, to keep a promise to a Jimmy Greco, professional comedian and friend. I was a reporter and I intended to tell Jimmy's story and the story of the Catskill Mountains where I grew up in a newspaper article. But Jimmy would have hated that. Newspaper's a flat, he'd say. Do I look flat to you? Does this jacket make me look flat? No, it doesn't. Sir, it does not. So I promised to tell Jimmy's story as a performance. So here goes. It was September 4th, 2013, when I visited Jimmy Greco at the Forest Rest, a residential living for active seniors retirement home in Monticello, New York. I showed up at his unit, and he opened the door on the first knock. I gave Jimmy what he'd been craving, an audience. Bernstein, right? Whatever. I know you. I never forget a nose. Wait a minute. You're the kid, aren't you? The busboy at the Raleigh. Right, Grossingers. I'm an old man. Stop interrupting. So you were the busboy when I was there, lifetime ago. Well, don't just stand there holding your schmeckle. Come on in. You recognize it? Of course you do. It's the Wall of Fame from Grossingers. And there's the pass-through window from the kitchen to the dining room. These are not recreations. They're the actual walls. Drywall, studs, and everything. I consider it a parting gift from Jeannie Grossingers. She was a real sweetie. Well, you know what they used to call me. King of the Borscht Belt. King of the fucking Borscht Belt. King shit. King that could never venture outside. My royalty ended as soon as I hit Route 42. Look, I got no hard feelings. The Catskills made my career, and I'm grateful. But, you know, it put a stench on me when Catskills humor fell out of fashion. Anyway, you don't want to include that shit in your story. No, don't write that. Let's say the Catskills, they were amazing. I was in the Catskills starting in 1959. I've had the pleasure of watching the rise and unfortunately the fall of the Catskill Mountain Resort area. It was called the Borscht Belt because this was a place where New York City Jews went to play, and with most of them being of European descent, all the hotels served borscht. cold beet soup. It tastes like what happens when you mix British blood pudding with the sweat from a Polish butcher. Delicious. Now, most of the people know the Catskills from that movie Dirty Dancing. You've seen that, right? Dirty Dancing. I'll tell you, the geniuses behind that film, they were so dedicated to creating an accurate, nuanced depiction of the Catskills. That's why they shot it in Virginia. When I started, there were 200 places for a comedian to work in the Catskills. Small hotels, big hotels, bungalow colonies. Well, you know, you cleared off the buttermilk and the gefilte fish in most of them, right? There were so many places for a comic, especially a young comic, to learn his craft. You started in the small places, in the bungalows, and you went to the bigger places. I started my career as a social director at the Homewack Lodge. If you had told me in 1985 that in 2013 there would be no Jewish hotels left in the Catskills, I said you're crazy. I had a summer in 1985, true story, I did 91 shows. Just between July 4th and Labor Day weekend, 91 shows. I do a 9 o'clock show at Brickman's, 10:30 show at the Pines, 1 a.m. show at Landman's Bungalow Colonies. Whoa, didn't have enough coffee for me then. 3 in one night. And you didn't get $1 million, but at the end of the week, you had to have a good week's pay. So the mountains were an exciting place to work. And one thing about the Jewish audiences in the mountains, you had to be good. And they let you know it. They didn't boo. They were very respectful. They just got up and walked out. And if you were no good, by the end of the night, you're working in front of 200 chairs. Thank God that never happened to me. I had my ups and downs, but I never lay to an empty house. And I ended up getting my picture on the Wall of Fame at Grossinger's and the Concord. Woody Allen. I saw him bomb big time at Sims Bungalow Colony 3 nights in a row. It was beautiful. This is an antique old heirloom. My grandfather on his deathbed sold me this watch. Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, you get no respect. My wife and I, we were happy for 20 years. Then we met. And a young man. I take my wife everywhere. She finds her way home. Alan King. My wife takes 40 minutes to put on lipstick. There's a reason. She has a big mouth. Now I remember when we met for the first time. Green room at Grossinger's, right? And I saw you setting up for Gabe Kaplan, a kid. And I asked, did he ask for the tablecloths? Who gets tablecloths in the green room? I asked if you've seen that show of his, that Welcome Back Schlemiel thing. You've seen it? Do you think the Kaplan guy is funny? Because it's the other kids in the class, the Epstein and Travolta kid that get all the laughs. Yeah, he's likable. I'm likable. I'm likable. Big shots and TV casting directors don't think so. My agent said he couldn't even get me auditions. I went on my own. got an audition for Laughing. Didn't get a call back. After that, I couldn't get an audition anywhere. It's not that I'm bitter. That all these punks like Gabe Kaplan and David Brenner and Jerry Seinfeld and Billy Crystal, he's a real jerk if you don't know him. But they came to play at the hotels for a few weeks and they became millionaires in Beverly Hills. Why would I be bitter? I'm the king of the Catskills, right? Which means I could never make royalty in the Goyim leagues. Still, I don't bitch. Maybe I bitch a little. But comedy has also given me so much. It gave me my wife, Sylvie. I'll never forget that night. I was just starting out at the home WAC. They gave me a fill-in stand-up time, just MC stuff. 5 minutes, I stretched it to 10. I'll never forget that Thursday night. I delivered a punchline and I heard this high-pitched, ha! It wasn't even like a laugh. It was like somebody had some kind of hemorrhage or seizure. It was the sound that an armadillo makes when you tick it under the tail just right. How would I know that? Ha! Ha! Sylvie. But she was so much more than a funny laugh. She was my strength, my rock. Amazing wife, amazing mother. She knew when to coddle and when to smack me. She was working as a waitress at Miss Monticello when we met. Later she became a nurse, specializing in delivering babies. She quit when we started having our own. Ever since the day I heard that crazy laugh in the casino, I would listen for that laugh in the audience. And I almost always heard it. Such a life we had. Like any decent comic, I would use our marriage and family life in my material. Who doesn't? Here's one of them. I'll tell you about my wife. One day, I come home from work. I don't have a key, so I knock on the door. My wife says, "Who is it?" I said, "It's your husband. I'm home." She said, "I don't open the door until you tell me something that only my husband would know." I said, "Okay. We have 2 children. Alan is 36. 15 years ago, he graduated from Wharton School in Pennsylvania. Judy's 33. She graduated from Brandeis University and Boston University. And they have bright, adorable kids." She says, "Well, everybody in the neighborhood knows that." I said, "We have a dog named Pepe, 18 years old, just qualified for Meals on Wheels." She said, "Everybody in the neighborhood knows that." I said, "You have a mole on your ass, and the whole neighborhood knows that. Don't bother opening the door." She died 5 years ago doing dishes. Pancreatic cancer, you should know from it. So, a married couple, married 48 years. The wife gets sick and passes away. The funeral's over. The pallbearers lift up the coffin and start to walk out. The coffin hits the wall. From inside the coffin, you hear, "Oh my God! It's a miracle! The lady lived!" She lived another 4 years, got sick again, and died. At the funeral, the pallbearers lift the coffin and start carrying her out. And the husband shouts, "Watch out for the wall!" Watch out for the wall. They say that comedy is pain plus time. Eternity is not nearly long enough. Not for Sylvia. Not nearly long. It was so hard to get back on stage after Sylvia passed. I went down to Miami for a while to visit friends. You know all the Jews have moved to Miami. Well, they have to. It's in the Torah. too hot and buggy, so I came back to Monticello, forest death, rest, whatever. The grandkids and the kids come to visit once in a purple moon. Every Saturday night, they let me perform. They have this real stage, 75-seat house. It's fun. I do all my old stuff. The good news, they never get up and leave. The bad news, they can't. Every man here is on Viagra, and for the same reason, so they don't roll out of bed. First Friday night I'm here, I look up across the ridge, out the window. I see smoke, right over there where the Concord Hotel is. I go to the activity director, guy Carl. I say, hey, Carl, Concord is burning. He says, oh, yeah, it's Friday night. Why is that okay? He said, because it's Friday night, the fire department practices. They use all the old buildings at the Concord. I get to watch it burn down. Burned down by these kids who, they don't even know. They don't know. My career was there. My life. That was my life. My Sylvia. I see those fires and it feels like she's dying all over again. Everything. My past. Catskills. Nobody even remembers it anymore. But it's like the Catskills, right? What could you do but laugh? I read one of these crazy sociological journal things that the Catskills developed because of the Holocaust. Our only answer to the most horrifying moment in modern history was humor. It was our only defense. I believe that. Catskills thrived because of anti-Semitism. This was a safe place, a pocket of tolerance in upstate New York where Jews were welcomed. And it died for, it's hard for me to say, but it died for good reasons. Blatant anti-Semitism seemed to die down. New York Jews discovered Miami, Los Angeles, Des Moines. It's ironic that a place that became synonymous with Jewish humor and culture would crumble as the world opened to the Jews. Well, maybe anti-Semitism just went in the closet for a while. I try to be optimistic. So Jimmy died 5 years ago, just a few months after my interview. I got to go to his funeral. It was the best funeral ever. The Friars Club, New York. All the comics, those who are still alive, who got their start in the Catskills, were there. David Brenner, Woody Allen, Mel Gibson, Mel Brooks. Gibson. He's funny, but not in the same way. Gilbert Gottfried, Joe Rivers. They all started out telling stories about Jimmy. Like about the time he performed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation at an audience member in the first row. She wasn't dying or anything, she was just really hot. Then they launched it to the one-liners. Their own and everybody else's. It was the language of the Catskills. Did you hear about the bum who walked up to a Jewish mother on the street and said, "Lady, I haven't eaten for 3 days." So she says, "Force yourself." My wife, she can't cook at all. In the backyard, the flies chipped in to fix the screen door. My doctor says, "You'll live to be 60. I said, "I am 60. He said, "What did I tell you?" Someone stole all my credit cards, but I won't be reporting it. The thief spends less money than my wife did. I just got back from a pleasure trip. I took my wife and took my mother-in-law to the airport. Speaking of mother-in-law jokes, reminds me of a news story I read about the last day of Grossinger's Hotel, one of the grand dams of the Catskill resorts. A reporter from the New York Times was interviewing Phil Grosinger, whose family had put its heart and soul into the hotel, but had lost several shirts along the way. The reporter asked Phil what it felt like at this moment to watch this icon go down to the wrecking ball. And I swear to God, he says this: "It's a mixed feeling. It's like watching your mother-in-law drive off a cliff in your new Cadillac." So that's the way the Catskills went down, not with a whimper or a bang, but a mother-in-law joke. So I and a few others remain as memory bearers to carry the essence of the Catskills with us. And I want you to join me in that. I don't know if you heard this one, but they made a pull-string doll out of my mother. Every time you pull the string, it says, "I am the same." Thank you. And we will be back with more music and comedy and drama coming up in Thespiana. Back for the second half of Thespiana. We only have 75 more plays to do. So it's no, you know, one of the things that really strikes me about this is that because these are staged readings, and even in the musicals, hopefully what's happening is that you're filling the gaps. There's a lot more responsibility on the audience in a show like this. And I think that the performances are such and the writing good enough, you start building the world yourself within, don't you? Yeah. So I think this is a really fun thing to be involved with. Okay, our first show on the second act was written and directed by Sue Bach. And although Sue works in downtown Colorado Springs, the local Chamber of Commerce has asked us to say that there's no resemblance to anything of real people, living or dead, in this play. And so we present Elevator. Susan walks into a downtown parking garage at the end of a workday. She's wearing casual office clothes and carrying her lunch container and purse. She walks past the elevator to the entrance of the stairwell. A homeless, shabby dressed older man is standing with his back to her.
Yes, oh, yeah!
Sir, are you all right?
Oh, why don't you mind your own business?
The man exits the garage.
Excuse me, did you just...
The elevator door opens. An old woman finishes pulling up her pants with a snap of elastic.
Don't you ever knock? People, no goddamn manners. Look out!
The woman exits. Susan looks down and notices a puddle of urine.
Nice! This isn't a restroom, you know.
Hold the door!
Careful. A homeless person just
a little privacy.
In that case, I'm glad all she did was pee. What level are you?
10?
Would you mind pressing 14 for me? I thought you were going to 10.
I am. I'm just not as tolerant as you. I'll take the stairs.
Some bum just jerked off in the stairwell.
Hello. Not a big day, isn't it?
It was till somebody peed in here.
Oh my, what is the world coming to?
What floor?
What? Oh, 6 please.
Crazy, isn't it? I know the stairs get their fair share of offenders, but I've never seen this in the elevator before.
I've never seen anyone in the act, but I do smell it from time to time.
Yeah, pretty unmistakable. I usually walk down in the mornings and take the elevator up at the end of the day.
I do that as well.
Well, then you must have seen the smashed window on the second floor stairwell.
I did. Can you imagine someone hurling a rock that far?
That was no rock. The hole was pretty small and glass was splintered all around it. No rock on the landing. Looked like a bullet hole.
Good heavens, you're probably right. What a blessing there was no one in the stairwell at the time.
Oh, I thought about that.
Say, would you mind,
The elevator stops. There are 2 teenagers with skateboards waiting to get on.
What were you saying?
What time do you have? I seem to have left my watch at home.
It's 5:20. Isn't this your floor?
Yes. I had better go. You have a lovely evening. Excuse me?
You too. What level?
Top. Number 25. You know about that guy, right?
No. Why? Is there a problem?
I guess not.
Not this time.
What do you mean? What about him?
He doesn't even have a car.
Then what was he doing riding the elevator? The sign says for customers only.
A lot of signs in here. You must be new to the garage. Hank, that's his name. He likes to ride up with people who look like a soft touch and he hits them up for money.
Never asks for much, pretends like he's lost his ticket or a little short on the fee or some shit. And if he's lucky, people hand him a couple of bucks.
He's so polite, they don't even know what hit him.
So he's just a panhandler.
Bingo.
Huh. Now that you mention it, he was about to ask me something, or for something, just before you got on.
He just rides up the elevator and walks down so he can walk back up with, ride up with somebody else. Does it all day long. Makes bank from what I hear. He stays clear of most of the regulars.
You're probably his last customer for the day. Watch, you'll see him walking down on your way out. Once he's scammed you, he probably won't do it again. There's plenty of others he can hit on.
Somebody peed in here.
Gross.
Strikes again.
You know her?
White hair, eye patch. We see her coming through the garage sometimes. She lives around here in one of those converted old hotels.
Every once in a while, she does that.
In the elevator?
Other places like, whatever she gets pissed off about. Something. Sometimes when the plumbing in the hotel doesn't work or people mess with her, social security check or some shit. She takes it out on what she calls government property.
Wow. I had no idea there was such an underbelly to the place. So, are you really gonna skateboard all the way down?
Yeah, except we don't like to go all the way down.
We stop at level 2.
Before garage security sees us.
Isn't that dangerous?
Hell yeah, that's part of the thrill.
What if somebody's backing out or coming up around really fast?
That's the cool part. You never know what you're going to find around the next corner. That's why they post those stupid no skateboarding signs.
Isn't there a really nice ski skateboard park not far from here?
Sure. What's the fun in that? They got a ton of rules. You can only go so fast, flip so high. We can do 25 miles an hour in here. And after 6, we practically get the whole place to ourselves.
Oh, except on the weekend.
You know this is crazy, right?
Shit, yeah!
You could die.
Yup.
Then why do you do it?
Everybody dies, man. But not everybody lives. Look at you, with your lunchbox and your sensible shoes, and your little office job clicking away on your little computer. What kind of car do you drive?
Saturn.
A fucking sensible car, for Christ's sake. You call that living?
Hey, take it easy, man.
Hell, you're not gonna say nothing, are you?
Me? No.
What about the pee?
I'll let the security guy know on my way out.
This time of year, it will really stink if you don't clean it up right away.
I know.
The elevator stops.
This is you.
No, this isn't me.
You're on 14, right?
My car is on 14. This isn't me.
What do you mean this isn't you?
This! The homeless fool jerking off in the stairwell.
Nelson?
Shut up.
The old lady kissing in the elevator. Somebody trying to rip me off. Sensible shoes. The linchpin. The little office job. The fucking Saturn. None of this is me. So what I'm saying is, hold the door for a minute. I have to go to my car. I'll be right back. Don't go without me.
Susan runs off stage.
What?
She said hold the door.
Well, I heard what she said. What is she doing?
I'm not sure.
Susan returns with her things, clutching a skateboard. He gets back in the elevator.
I'm gonna ride down with you.
What are you doing?
I know how to ride this thing.
When was the last time you rode one? 7th grade?
About that.
Seriously? You've had that in your truck since the 7th grade?
Don't be stupid. Nobody has a car in the 7th grade. It's my son's. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start living. Take me up to 25.
Are you crazy? You're gonna skate down in pantyhose and heels.
They're knee highs.
Careful.
Well, you gonna press the button, or am I gonna have to do it all myself?
Yes, ma'am. You do know this is dangerous, right? If you fall and crash into a wall or something, you could break a hip or a wrist or something.
Yes, I'm aware of the law of physics.
You die.
Yep. I could also drive my car down the ramp, get on the interstate, and get hit by a semi. Either way, I could end up dead or in a body cast. This seems very much more enjoyable. Worst case, my husband will be flipping my obituary out of the newspaper where I work.
You're sure about this?
Absolutely.
Looks like we're here.
Elevator doors open. Susan rushes out, lines up her skateboard, and skates up.
Wanda? What's that?
You never saw Fried Green Tomatoes? It's my mom's favorite movie. It's kind of like the chick word for Geronimo.
We better catch up with her. If she skates all the way down to ground level, she'll screw this up for us. I'm just saying. Well, hey, it could happen.
Let's roll.
And now we change the scene a bit. From the wonderful environs of a urine-soaked parking garage, which I'm told bears no resemblance to anyone in Colorado Springs. The chamber has given me plenty of money to have me say that. To the environments of a seaside home. We are now going to be in the living room of Gwen and Roger's home in the play, written by Judith McKay and directed by Robert Tiffany, called Temptations of a Playwright. Roger, dressed in casual attire, is sitting in his favorite easy chair reading a book beside an open bay window overlooking the ocean. Gwen, dressed in a flowing nightgown with a laptop computer in one hand, rushes in from the bedroom, heading for the desk across the living room.
Oh, good morning, darling. How are you on this fine, lovely morning?
I am on a mission today. I have to write a play.
You sound a bit stressed. It's too nice a day to get stressed. You can do that on a cold, rainy day. Why don't we just go to the beach and have a nice invigorating swim in the warmth of the sea breeze? Then we can enjoy lunch al fresco at your favorite restaurant. I also have a nice surprise waiting for you. How does that sound? By the way, why are you stressed on such a beautiful day?
You know the theater writing class I enrolled in 2 months ago? The director assigned us to write either a one-act play or a monologue. After submission, if the director accepts them, we would then have the opportunity to present them on stage at the local theater and invite the public. So I chose to write a 10-minute one-act play, and it's due this Monday night. 3 days away! It's worth 3/4 of my grade, and I still don't have a clue as to what I want to write.
You have a very vivid imagination. This should be a piece of cake. You always surprise me. I know when you put your mind to something, you give it your all, and you do just fine. I have every confidence in you.
No, this is different. Writing a 10-minute play? Roger, do you know how long 10 minutes can be when you need to write something creative and you don't know what to say? I'm starting to panic. 10 minutes sounds like an eternity. So I guess I'm just going to let myself get stressed out until I figure it out. Or maybe just sit back and do nothing. Or maybe I should go play with you until I get inspired.
Why do you really want to write this play?
I've never written a play before, and it just sounded like a nice challenge to go somewhere new. I got excited thinking about telling a story. Just think of all the things we could get ourselves into without even trying. So what story do I tell?
Remember when someone backed into our car and we just stood there watching it happen, knowing there was nothing we could do about it? Or when we missed our connecting flight by a few seconds and had to stay overnight in that freezing hotel because a huge snowstorm had come in and knocked out the power? Hey, remember how we got warm? What a night.
Remember the time I got the hives and we had to miss the rafting trip down the Colorado River? I've been looking forward to that experience. That would have been a trip of a lifetime. Maybe someday. Just think of the stories.
Yeah, how about the time our basement was flooded?
We lost just about everything, including that exceptionally beautiful wall unit. As I recall, you very willingly packed it into the dumpster.
I hated that thing.
Roger! Sometimes I don't think I know you at all or even like you. Sorry, dear. I didn't mean to go there. I love you dearly, but sometimes you just seem so insensitive. But there are more heart-wrenching moments to write about when your parents died. Just 3 months apart while we were living in Tokyo.
Yeah, that was a very emotional time for us. But we were together.
And then my mother passed away a few years later, so unexpectedly. We were always living far away from our families, which made life more difficult. More stories. Or there are many fun times I could write about, but right now I'm drawing a blank. My story. Shall it be funny, serious, inspiring? inspirational, intriguing, or all of the above? Roger?
Lighten up. Remember, this is a beautiful morning and we are going to have fun. I think you're on the right track. Write about what you know. Huh. Sometimes I wonder if I could write a story, being so left-brained.
Oh, please, one story at a time. The director also suggested that we bring together at least 4 people, each with very different personalities, connecting them in a most unusual way. That sounded like a fun challenge. Immediately, 4 people I know came to mind. The more I thought about each person, the more I felt like I was beginning to know them for the first time. What a fascinating process, and another way to get to know people.
Well, this certainly sounds like one way to get to know people. But how deeply do you want to excavate these people? Just a thought. If you dig too deeply, maybe you wouldn't want to be friends. And then maybe we wouldn't have any friends.
No, interesting question. That's just it. I don't know. I just realized that I am seeing them only through my perceptions. Do we really know people we socialize with? People at your office, the club, our neighbors, and even our very dear friends. Do we even know anyone? Even ourselves? When you come right down to it, do I know myself? Oh dear. Roger, do I really know you?
Gee, Gwen, here I thought I knew all about you. Well, this could be an exciting new adventure. Maybe I could get to know the real you. I can at least have fun trying. How about it? On the other hand, I like what I know, and I am a happy man.
Roger, what don't I know about you? Tell me everything. Oops, maybe not. Maybe I don't want to know everything. Maybe we should leave well enough alone and just continue to enjoy each other as we have over these past 20 years. Otherwise, we could find ourselves going down a road we might not like. Do you want that? I don't think I do. On the other hand, I bet there are still lots of discoveries to be made. But I do know that when we click, it's wonderful. Although lately that doesn't happen as often as I like. Does that mean we're getting old? Or are we just feeling more comfortable with each other? Or is it something else? I'm not sure I know you at all.
Where are you going with this, darling? I thought I had just recommended that we spend this beautiful sunny day with a swim, lunch, and the surprise I have for you later. Maybe I should just pick you up and take you to the beach.
Do we know each other, Roger?
As well as any couple, I guess. Better than most, perhaps not as well as others. Forgive me for saying so, darling, but I don't want to know everything about you.
Roger.
I enjoy trying to figure you out. A little mystery to keep the excitement going.
Where are you going?
Swimming, remember?
So we're good. For another 20 years?
At least. I'll see you at the beach in a few minutes. I get the distinct feeling we are going to have a great afternoon together.
I forgot to tell you, Cynthia asked me to go on a shopping trip today. You know how I love shopping. But I told her I had to write a play this weekend. There are always temptations out there. I hate saying no to the things I like doing. I also know I can't do everything. I guess it comes down to just listening to my heart and doing what really speaks to me.
Darling, just write about what you know. What excites you, what inspires you, what speaks to you. I'll see you shortly.
Roger exits toward the bedroom. Gwen returns to the desk and laptop and begins typing, and then looks up.
Oh dear, what did I get myself into? Who am I kidding? Maybe I better quit trying so hard and thinking too much. No wonder I'm exhausted. But I don't want to disappoint the director and my classmates. Maybe I will take the rest of the day off and go play with Roger. That'll send him over the moon. And maybe I will find that inspiration. Where's my beach bag? Roger!
Gwen, you never cease to amaze me. One minute you're becoming so stressed about the impending and dooming deadline, and now you have your beach gear ready to go play. Did any man ever say he could understand women? I plead total ignorance. You certainly keep me on my toes, and I love just about every minute being with you. Yeah, just about. I wouldn't want this going to your head. Although I admit, I don't know what I would do without you. Wonderful, mysterious lady.
That evening, after a wild and wonderful play day of relaxing, swimming, and beach walking, and delectable food with friends, they returned home radiantly exhilarated and exhausted, especially Gwen. After goodnight kisses, Gwen steals herself away for a moment to her study and kneels down in prayer.
Dear God, I come to tell you that I give up. I turn this all over to you because I just don't know what I want to write about. Thank you. Amen.
Scene 2, brunch. 2 weeks later.
I still can't believe how well that went. Oh, and those reviews. God, I am so proud of you. I love you.
Oh, I never could have done this alone. I had to let myself get stressed before I could let go. The things we do when we try too hard instead of just being patient with ourselves. I guess that's part of being human and wanting to be in charge, thinking we know it all. Ugh, the damn ego. Maybe all of it is important, just to keep a balance. And guess what, Roger? The director told me I ought to think about writing another play.
And now we return to the Gold Rush days. We're going back to, this is another excerpt from Mark and Lauren Arnest, part of their musical Iron and Gold. So the second act takes place in 1886. The Western Districts, the Knights of Labor, under the leadership of Martin Irons, strike the Gould system of railroads in Mississippi, or Missouri, and Texas. And we'll have 2 more songs from this musical. The first piece is called Brothers. Nate Travers, the railroad engineer, is elated and grateful, thinking that his friend Martin Irons has stepped aside to allow him, Nate, to win the beautiful maid, while Irons selflessly takes the plain Mary to wife. They sing of their bond of friendship.
this to you. Brothers, ever closer are we, till I knew and your name. The eye that beats my rails, I am the ties I am the ties. It's the other way around. Brother, my brother, we'll always be brothers. When seas are stormy and ships lose their runners, when all the leaves have fallen, when heavy bird has flown, I'm brother still to you. There before the sea eye of heaven, from those days the truth can never hide. I will vow to you, my loving brother, when you need me, I'll be at your side. My brother, we'll always be brothers. This is my promise we made to each other. This is the promise by which we abide. I'll be there at your side.
And you thought they didn't have bromances in the 1800s. Okay, for our final song, the strife is about to begin in Song for the Knights of Labor.
Into this life we fall like the dew, granted one glorious moment to be. Pauper or prince, we all must then go back to our formless seat. pass, echoing dimly the face of the sun. Fleeting the likeness, soon it must pass, so let it be justly done.
So next, we present 10 minutes.
Cashier at the supermarket asked me yesterday, "Did you find everything you were looking for?" And I said, "Do we ever?"
You know what they say, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him to fish and you'll feed him for a lifetime.
Serve him gefilte fish and he'll never eat fish again. Can zombies get health care, or is death considered a pre-existing condition?
Britney Spears wants to have a baby girl. I hope she names her Asparagus.
Did I tell you, I bought a box of chocolate marshmallows the other day. I open the box in the car, the box falls off the seat, and the 4 chocolate marshmallows are scattered across the car floor, which I haven't vacuumed for 3 months. I was faced with an existential decision. Should I eat the marshmallows and risk gastrointestinal poisoning, or throw the marshmallows away and play it safe? I ate the marshmallows. You know why? Because I'm a man, not a marshmallow.
And that's why I married you. They said that it's impossible to bring down all the missiles. One of them is going to get through.
How much time do you think we have left?
Maybe 10 minutes.
I was going to get a haircut today.
You know, I thought LOL means living on lithium.
I thought WikiLeaks was a bladder problem.
Just watched a test they did on rats and the possible connection between cell phone use and brain cancer. What bothered me most was that one of the rats had a better cell phone plan than I did. Do you think they'll find our bodies?
I don't know.
Don't you just hate it when they find you dead and you wish you had worn your blue, not beige, underwear instead? Don't you just hate it when to your chagrin, you leave this world with cheddar cheese cracker crumbs on your chin? Don't you just hate it when it's time to go and you've never been to Boise, Idaho, or used the restroom in a Copenhagen's train station, or learn how to say, "Pass the stuffed cabbage, please," in Croatian? Don't you just hate it when things turn out this way? But hey, I'm glad there's still time left to say, I love you.
I love you too. You know that time we went to see Stravinsky's Firebird concert? I never told you, but I took Viagra 2 hours before the concert. Because I thought we'd be together, you know, before we went. But it didn't happen. I got aroused every time the percussionist crashed the cymbals together.
We need to work on our communication skills.
What I want to know is, if you contribute to somebody's GoFundMe project and it doesn't work out, is there a Go Refund Me response mechanism?
You know what Fred Zimmerman's wife told me? He went on a walk to end Alzheimer's March and got lost. I guess we don't need the sprinkler repairman now.
Probably not. I went to Starbucks the other morning and ordered a tall blonde. For a minute there, I thought I was in a brothel. How do you feel about dying?
Could it be any different than this? Oh, I did see in the paper that Birchler's Funeral Home is having a sale on caskets, and they're offering 40% off. But the small print said all sales final.
Dead don't get refunds. You want some coffee?
No, I had 2 cups this morning.
I was thinking, if I were kidnapped by terrorists, I would have my own list of demands.
Like what?
I would tell them I need dental floss. There's a history of gum problems. I need my own space, of course, my own checking account, non-allergenic shampoo, hormone-free chicken and beef, 2-ply toilet paper, laundry day, and at least once a week, access to the Comedy Central channel.
Yes, you know your rights. I would ask that all instruments of torture be sterilized first. The last thing I need is a life-threatening infection.
I would tell them I would like to change my ringtone of my cell phone as needed and be given the assurance that nobody eat anything in the fridge with my name on it.
And I'd let them know that I want to look at my high school yearbook occasionally and practice the East Coast swing moves.
I'd insist on 10% of any ransom money paid to redeem me. However, this price is negotiable. And you know what? They need to know that any video used of me for public viewing must first have my approval. I prefer most shots of me with the camera angles coming in from a left profile, semi-close up, with a soft, but not too soft, gel effect. I'm not worried. I can work with a video guy. I know something about film.
Of course, there may be copyright and residual issues concerning use of your image and words, but you're a lawyer. You could probably talk those things out and avoid any legal hassles. Finally, I would tell them straight up I don't do mornings. Oh, sounds like the people are in a bit of panic out there.
You think it was the end of the world?
Well, oh, there goes Elaine and her husband. Where are they running to? There's no place to hide. She never gave me back my Tupperware dish.
Some people I am not going to miss. You want to order a pizza?
Oh, you think they're delivering?
How long have we been married?
I don't know. Do we have children?
I think so. Life just goes by so fast. So many things I wanted to do and never got around to it.
You cut the lawn last week. Oh, I wish we had a pizza.
How much time is left?
About 5 minutes.
Hey, you want to take a selfie?
Oh, sure.
Okay, ready? Big smile.
Oh, nice.
Hey, let's take a selfless selfie.
A selfless selfie?
Yeah, you take a picture of yourself without being in the picture. I need you to scooch. Got it.
Well, you can see my spirit.
Oh, You remember the time you took all the books out of the bookcase and took a picture, and I asked you what you were doing, and you said...
Shelfless! A shelf, what? A shelfie? What?
Taking a selfie.
I'm taking a selfie!
That's brilliant!
We're such a fun couple.
I'm really gonna miss our summer vacations.
Me too. I have an idea.
What are you doing with those Febreze cans?
We're going on vacation. Ready?
Okay.
Greek seaside. Just inhale.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Oh, look. I can see the Temple of Poseidon.
Antiquity in a can.
Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. Hawaiian aloha.
Oh, Waikiki. Oh, and you've got a beachfront hotel. Thank you.
Only the best for you. Hey, do you hula?
Hula?
Don Ho.
Do you think we had a full life?
Well, I guess. I don't want to compare myself to other people. You know what they say? The grass is always browner on the other side. What's my name?
I call you Barry.
Barry. That's a nice name.
You can call me Delia, but I prefer Jennifer.
It's the waiting for this thing to hit. I'm so glad we cashed in our life insurance policy last year.
How much time is left?
I don't know, 3 minutes maybe. Hey! Get off my lawn! You're gonna do damage to the lilacs. What is wrong with people?
I gotta show you something I bought on sale at Minerva's the other day. What do you think? It was $39.99 and I got it for $20. Do you like the color?
Oh, it's nice. $20, wow. Looking good.
You like it?
$20, I don't believe it. Oh, look, the Watsons are barbecuing.
Huh? They didn't invite us. Well, I never liked them anyway.
Who cares? They buy cheap meat from Sam's anyway. Hey, you want a drink? Glass of wine? Toast?
Yeah, okay. So what do we toast?
To our health. Good time. Not a bad Merlot, eh? $10.99.
You know how to pick them.
So, what does the end of the world mean anyway? No more wax nectarines.
Shanghai sweatshops.
Partially hydrogenated oil.
Canning salons. Oh, so far all I see are positive.
No more job insecurity.
High school plays.
Viscosity breakdown.
Ice skating shows.
E. coli cheeseburgers.
Oh, and those people with unopened cans of nutmeg and others who know the secrets of tungsten will be upset. And baby boomers in red convertibles with yellow socks will feel violated. Zookeepers with sinus headaches, though, won't mind.
But overpriced tax accountants and people with Save the Tilapia bumper stickers will take it hard.
Blue tango instructors, Ukrainian fudge makers, and Persian carpet cleaners, of course, will have the most to lose.
That's life. What are you gonna do?
Who is it?
It's Ed Watson with a platter of sodium nitrate-filled hot dogs.
Well, don't open the door.
Hey, Jerry, Carol, you in there? We have some barbecue. We thought we'd share with you before this thing hits. I don't think you're home.
I wish they had pizza. You want the barbecue?
Are you kidding? I'd rather die than eat that crap.
It's nice of them to offer.
Yeah, they're good people. You think we should check the mail? I ordered some supplements on Amazon. They might be coming. That acid reflux stuff, it's really been bothering me lately. I didn't sleep at all last night. And you with that restless leg syndrome, you need to have that looked at.
I'm always running in my sleep. People are chasing me.
Maybe you have a following.
You think so? Well, I've got about a minute left. You want to have sex?
I'm a little tired.
That's okay. I like the sweater. $20, wow.
Do you really? The color is nice.
It's you. It is so you.
That's it. Goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye, Gloria. The cashier at the supermarket asked me yesterday, "Did you find everything you're looking for?" And I said,
Do we ever?
Not the end of the world, but it is the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming.
compared to that rehearsal day. Oh my
Shotgun approach.